Question number 1. Joined together, united, made into a whole by having brought all parts together.
You got it. Your choice integrated is right.
Question number 2. What is the primary purpose of application architecture within an organization?
You're right. Designing software applications and components is the correct answer.
Question number 3. How does enterprise architecture help in removing silos within an organization?
Solid response. By aligning technology and people resources is a valid choice.
Question number 4. What encompasses the set of rules that define the format and structure of data?
Clear logic. Your choice data models is sound and 100% true.
Question number 5. What is the primary purpose of real-world examples of enterprise architecture?
Correct. Offering practical insights and lessons is the right answer.
Question number 6. What does the Zachman framework's classification perspective matrix address?
Right again. Enterprise architecture concepts is a valid answer.
Question number 7. How does enterprise architecture serve as a competitive edge to an enterprise?
Well reasoned. By streamlining operations and improving focus is the correct choice.
Question number 8. Which of the following is not included in the enterprise architecture process?
Well picked. Strategy is the correct answer.
Question number 9. A business, an industrious effort, especially one directed toward making money.
Right choice. Enterprise is the best answer.
Question number 10. The outputs that can be achieved from the enterprise architecture design are:
Strong choice. Blueprint is the right answer.
Question number 11. What does information architecture primarily focus on within an organization?
Excellent choice. Organizing and structuring information is the right answer.
Question number 12. Which of the following is the last steps phases in the Adam sequences phases?
Bravo. Architecture change management is the answer.
Question number 13. Involvement of partners, suppliers, and customers in an enterprise is called:
Perfect. Extended enterprise is the correct choice.
Question number 14. What is the role of a Chief Human Resources Officer in an enterprise?
Nicely done. To manage the company's human resources is a solid answer.
Question number 15. Which of the following is not a key stakeholder in enterprise architecture?
Exactly. Employees make sense and it is right choice.
Question number 16. What does studying the future of enterprise architecture primarily involve?
Nice work. You chose predicting upcoming technological trends, and it is correct.
Question number 17. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a traditional enterprise?
Great job. Streamlined operations with minimal variety is the accurate answer.
Question number 18. Which of the following is a key responsibility of an enterprise architect?
Smart pick. Developing and implementing its strategy is the correct choice.
Question number 19. Which framework provides a way to organize and manage complex information?
Excellent. The Enterprise Architecture Framework is a brilliant choice.
Question number 20. Based on enterprise challenges, applications can fail due to... Except dash.
Nice selection. The application itself cannot fail is the correct and valid answer.
Question number 21. What role does enterprise architecture play in decision-making processes?
Great thinking. It provides valuable insights and supports informed decision-making is the right choice. Question number 22. What does enterprise architecture ensure in relation to its systems?
Well done. Alignment with business strategy and objectives is the right choice.
Question number 23. It does not conform to the structures of frameworks, taxonomy, or models. Good job. Your answer, Gartner, works well here. Question number 24. One of the newest attempts to create a solid structure for organizations. On track. Federal Enterprise Architectural Framework is the correct answer.
Question number 25. What is the role of a Chief Information Officer in an enterprise?
Valid point. To oversee the company's infrastructure is true. Question number 26. What does Archimate provide instruments for an enterprise architecture?
You chose describing, analyzing, and visualizing relationships among different business domains. And it is correct.
Question number 27. What is not included in the enterprise architectural framework is dash.
Good thinking. Ease is the right answer.
Question number 28. Which of the following is not a component of technical architecture?
Correct response. Business processes is the most accurate answer.
Question number 29. In enterprise architecture, what is the role of quality management?
Smart move. To oversee activities and tasks to ensure quality is an accurate answer.
Question number 30. Which of the following is not a benefit of enterprise architecture?
Sharp thinking. Decreased customer satisfaction is the right choice.
Question number 31. Which is not component or is not domain of enterprise architecture?
Excellent. Service-oriented architecture is a brilliant choice. Question number 32. In the enterprise architecture process, what does COBIT stand for?
You're right. Control objectives for information and related technology is the correct answer. Question number 33. Architecture transition was first defined in the following phases.
Well picked. Phase E. Opportunities and solutions is the correct answer. Question number 34. What does MENDA stand for in the context of enterprise architecture?
Great thinking. Model-driven architecture is the right choice.
Question number 35. Web service has 3 entities in its architecture, namely except dash.
Smart pick. Service naming is the correct choice.
Question number 36. What is the purpose of architecture in the transformation process? Clear logic? Your choice, all of the above, is sound and 100% true. Question number 37. Which domains are key components of enterprise architecture?
Good job. Your answer, business architecture, application architecture, data architecture, technology architecture works well here.
Question number 38. Who introduced the Zachman framework for enterprise architecture? You chose John Zachman, and it is correct. Question number 39. What is the role of enterprise architecture in business strategy?
On track. To align it with business objectives is the correct answer.
Question number 40. Which of the following best describes enterprise architecture?
Exactly. A coherent collection of principles, methods, and models makes sense, and it is right choice.
Question number 41. Which is not included in the tailored architecture framework?
Right choice. Structure tailoring is the best answer. Question number 42. One of the most common framework structures in business today.
Smart move. The Open Group Architectural Framework is an accurate answer.
Question number 43. They pertain to the business and its strategies and standards.
Strong choice. External drivers is the right answer.
Question number 44. What does SIM represent in model-driven architecture?
Nice selection. Computation-independent model is the correct and valid answer.
Question number 45. What is one of the key benefits of enterprise architecture?
Perfect. Improved understanding of enterprise operations is the correct choice.
Question number 46. One of them is not a component of an execution architecture.
Bravo. Medium is the answer.
Question number 47. What is the purpose of business continuity planning? Right again. All of the above is a valid answer.
Question number 48. Which tools can be used for enterprise architecture?
Good thinking. All of the above is the right answer.
Question number 49. What is the primary purpose of enterprise architecture?
Sharp thinking. Design complex structures is the right choice.
Question number 50. In business architecture, we use BPMAM to describe dash.
Well reasoned. Logical business architecture is the correct choice.
Question number 51. What are the benefits of enterprise architecture?
Correct response. All of the above is the most accurate answer.
Question number 52. What do enterprise architecture case studies provide?
Valid point. Practical examples and insights is true.
Question number 53. One of the enterprise architecture methodologies is?
Nicely done. TOGAF is a solid answer.
Question number 54. The following that do not include the E domain are?
Solid response. Service architecture is a valid choice.
Question number 55. Which of the following is not a component of TOGAF?
Correct. Business model development is the right answer.
Question number 56. Which components are part of the IT infrastructure?
Nice work. You chose hardware, software, data, and networks, and it is correct.
Question number 57. APA Singkatan Dari Service-Oriented Architecture.
You got it? Your choice SAW is right.
Question number 58. Architecture has the following elements, except.
Well done. Internal control is the right choice.
Question number 59. What is the main focus of the Zachman framework?
Great job. Communication between stakeholders is the accurate answer.
Question number 60. What is the purpose of solution architecture?
Excellent choice. To design individual applications is the right answer.
Question number 61. Conceptual data architecture consists of dash.
Excellent. Information subject area and business object is a brilliant choice.
Question number 62. The following is not part of the ADAM diagram. Correct. Architecture Capability Framework is the right answer. Question number 63. The information architecture consists of dash. Excellent choice. Data architecture and application architecture is the right answer.
Question number 64. Why is enterprise architecture important?
Nice selection. It improves communication and collaboration within an organization is the correct and valid answer.
Question number 65. Ada Barapa Layer Enterprise Architecture.
You're right. 4 is the correct answer.
Question number 66. Enterprise architecture aims to achieve.
Nice work. You chose standardization and integration, and it is correct.
Question number 67. The initial stage on the ADAM diagram is?
Bravo. Preliminary is the answer. Question number 68. The following are not TOGAF components. Right again. Infrastructure architecture is a valid answer.
Question number 69. Which is not an example of enterprise.
You got it. Your choice class is right.
Question number 70. What is ISO 27000 certification for?
Well reasoned. Security of the information is the correct choice. Question number 71. What does ITIL primarily focus on? Perfect. Its service delivery best practices is the correct choice.
Question number 72. Enterprise architecture helps in?
Solid response. Improving organizational agility and responsiveness is a valid choice.
Question number 73. What is enterprise architecture?
On track. A process for aligning business goals with its infrastructure is the correct answer.
Question number 74. What does the acronym SOA mean?
Sharp thinking. Service-oriented architecture is the right choice.
Question number 75. Phaser in the ADAM diagram is?
Strong choice. Architecture vision is the right answer. Question number 76. French word of architecture. Well done. Architect is the right choice.
Question number 77. What does TOGAF stand for?
Clear logic. Your choice, the Open Group Architecture Framework, is sound and 100% true.
Question number 78. The final part of TOGAF is?
Great job. Architecture Capability Framework is the accurate answer.
Question number 79. Part I of the TOGAF is?
Smart move, guideliness, and best practice is an accurate answer.
Question number 80. What is TOGAF?
Valid point. Methodology and framework for developing E is true.
Question number 81. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format.
Exactly. Contact Narayan Changder makes sense and it is right choice.